want to talk about that, though, because that's going to get real sad.
Yeah, anyway,
let's talk about the movie. Hi, welcome to Never Show the Monster. I'm Kelly Attaway.
I'm Chelsea Hollander.
And today we are talking about the movie Stir of Echoes, continuing our Kevin Bacon theme. This one is nearly 10 years after Tremors and Flatliners. Those
I thought you were
were
going to say like 10 years ago. And I was about to be like, what the fuck?
It was 99.
I mean, I'm bad with time, but
this is another pre-9/11 movie. Tremors and Flatliners were 90, and this is 99. And this one is about, so Kevin Bacon plays like a skeptical, sort of unpleasantly practical blue collar. What does he do? He's like a phone line guy.
oh yeah, he's on a pole at some point.
Yeah, he's on a pole at some point.
And talking to people on the phone. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, anyway. He makes a call from up on the pole.
Because you don't have cell phones. Oh, that's kind of neat.
So is he hacking? He like got up there and
I guess
hacked?
so. That's pretty fun.
He's a hacker.
I like it.
I love it. But yeah, he's skeptical and starts seeing like super spooky visions of a ghost girl played by a young Jennifer Morrison of Once Upon a Time fame. That's not the thing she's most known for. That's just
is it not? House?
I think it's House. Yeah.
I feel like she should be known more for Once Upon a Time because she was the leading role in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the chosen one in Once Upon a Time, which I also watched.
I watched
shout out
a
Rumpelstiltskin.
good chunk of it. Yeah, I was like, I watched a good chunk of it, and I remember liking Rumpelstiltskin a lot.
Love stilts. Everybody in the show called him Rumple. I always called him Stilts. That's better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rumple? Whatever.
Not creative.
Yeah, so he starts seeing visions of this ghost girl after he like basically dares his sister-in-law to hypnotize him. And while he's under, she like post-hypnotically suggests to him that he be more open. And that's what leads him to be like essentially haunted by Jennifer Morrison. And then the movie becomes like a paranormal whodunit. It's like it's my two loves. It's ghosts and true crime.
3, Kevin Bacon.
That's assumed.
Yeah. It's all of the above. I'm trying to think of what else it could also encapsulate. Really great genes.
If you've got like a
obsessively listening to music.
Wait.
There's only one scene where he does that. Because he hears the music and he's like, I know that song, and then he goes through a bunch of records.
Yeah, and he's like on the floor
listening
with his headphones
to his records. And ignoring his wife. Basements,
if you love a basement.
There are basements. Like digging.
If you love digging, this is the movie for you.
Great movie.
Great
Holes.
This and Holes. These are the top 2 leading hole digging movies.
I feel like this could probably be a good double feature. Watch Holes first, early. Watch it with the kids. Put them to bed. Pull up Stir of Echoes.
Yep.
Dig it out,
Dig it out.
Yeah.
There is even a sex scene in this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not graphic and it gets interrupted. So.
I mean, it starts to be, because she does it. You see her boobs a lot.
You see her boobs and like, I don't know.
In a very 90s way. I don't know. This movie felt very 90s nudity to me.
It's very 90s nudity.
I didn't know that was a thing. But when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I have not seen nudity like this in so long.
Yes.
Where it is like a weird, because I'm used to I don't know, Game of Thrones nudity where it's just like, boom, bam, all in your face. It's here. It's right here.
No, this is almost chaste nudity.
Yeah. It's like, here's a nip. Oh. Is this a nipple? Maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
It's like in silhouette. It's like backlit. I was curious though. So she's on top in this sex scene. And that feels very modern to me.
Do you think in the 90s women weren't on top?
No, I believe that they were in real life, like always.
But in the movie.
But in media, I was like, oh, is this progressive?
It might be. I mean, there are some feelings I have about the movie where I'm like, I don't know. I still think it's timeless, and the things that are sad in it are still sad today. So there's that.
That actually reminds me. I guess I had a bit of business that I wanted to bring up pre-recording, but we're in it. Do we need to
give us
one?
Yeah, maybe, because there are some things that will probably.
Yeah. Just a heads up, there is a little bit of sexual assault in this movie.
Yeah.
An attempted rape in this movie. And a murder in this movie. So heads up.
If any of those three make you uncomfortable, maybe skip this episode and then come back to us next week whenever we talk about the Grand Canyon. Spoilers. Is that a spoiler? I don't think that's a spoiler. We're going to talk about the Grand Canyon. But yeah, if any of those make you uncomfortable and you feel like they're going to make you feel away, then that's okay. You can skip over this one and then come see us next week.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going to get graphic. We're not going to dwell on it, but it is a key plot point.
Yeah. I was going to say, I might not get graphic, but I might want to have a conversation about it just because of.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me. So we'll talk about it later. Anywho.
Yeah.
Did you get anything interesting out of this movie that you didn't know before? There's one main thing that I want to talk about that I'm hoping. I don't know if you found out. Did you find something out?
No, I don't think I found anything out. Can I rattle off some stats before we get into it?
Please do.
Okay, so this movie came out in 1999, which was the same year that the Blair Witch Project came out and The Sixth Sense.
The poor Sixth Sense. They should have come out different years. This movie should have come out 3 years earlier. Poor this movie for coming out the same year as The Sixth Sense.
And it's like a month later. So everybody was like high on Sixth Sense, and then Stir of Echoes comes out. I am curious though. This movie is so it's written, the screenplay is written by David Koepp, who did You Should Have Left, who directed You Should Have Left. But it's also Richard Matheson. This movie is based on a novel, and I didn't know that until today, or I would have fucking read it for the episode.
I was gonna say, in the movie there is the babysitter's reading a book, and it's another of his books.
Oh, it's another Matheson book?
Yeah.
That's cute. I love that. I love to see it.
And I also want to talk about you guys heard They Should Have Left episode. I feel like this movie is a testament to the director being actually very good. I like this movie, and I like it from even when I was younger. I did watch it around that time. I do
want to get into that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just want to hear your history with the movie, but the reason I brought up the novel is because I wonder if The Sixth Sense and this movie have a common ancestor in that book.
Oh,
because they both have the kid who can see dead people.
Yep.
Like, do they inherit from the same thing? And like, I literally just found this out today, so I regrettably didn't do the
time
to look
into back to the next episode.
And if you know,
I was gonna say I don't. I know that I know changes between the book and the movie that happened, but I don't know. Yeah, the sister was actually going to be a brother-in-law. So it was going to be a brother that was hypnotizing him and not a sister.
Well, I'm glad we got more ladies.
Yeah. And then there was just like a handful of really, I want to say small things, but they could be bigger things in the scheme of it all. But in general, it seemed pretty close to what the book was based on what I looked at.
Yeah. I did read that Koepp was a big fan of Matheson. And so he sent him the screenplay to like get his blessing. Aww. And Matheson was like, yeah, this is great. And also, I like love other movies that Koepp has done. You have my blessing. So that's cool that he like. Yeah, it doesn't sound like the screen.
I love respect. I love when people respect all around. It's beautiful.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned the sister-in-law. She's played by Ileana Douglas, who is so familiar to me. But I looked through her IMDb. I don't know that I've ever seen anything that she's done apart from this movie.
Really?
they are like, she's done like a ton of stuff. She's I think she's very famous.
Now I'm going through it to see. Oh yeah, the new guy. Okay, hold on. Story of Echoes shows to be her like highest film on IMDb, which is not. Yeah. I mean, that's not a very. I don't want to be like, that's not a very well known film, but it's not. Oh, she's in Trill.
Did you watch the TV show? Yeah, no, but I need to. With who's that comedian?
Aidy Bryant.
Aidy Bryant. Thank you. Yeah, so this movie stars Kevin Bacon, obviously. And his wife is played by Catherine. Do you know how to say her last name? Herb?
No, I don't know. And why would you ask me?
That's true. Actually, I do want to mention Cary Elwes in this.
In general, do you think he should be in this movie?
No. Okay, so
have we gone an episode not talking about it?
Let me just close out Catherine Irby and or Herb. You know her. Everybody knows her. She's very familiar. Law and Order, Criminal Intent. No, Kevin Bacon's Chicago accent was giving me flashbacks to Cary Elwes in The Unholy.
Yeah.
Do you remember his crazy Chicago accent?
Was it Boston? Like he was trying to do a heavy Boston
accent?
accent?
He was doing Boston. Yeah. Oh my God. That means that Kevin Bacon wasn't even nailing Chicago.
No, probably not.
He was giving Boston.
I didn't know it was Chicago until near the end of the movie. What part was it? Was it like a Bears game or something? Chicago's the Bears.
Oh, Chicago is the Bears, yeah. And they do go to a game.
They go to a game or something, but I didn't know it was Chicago up until the end because I was like, oh, maybe it's Boston.
I assumed it was Boston because of the Cary Elwes connection. And it wasn't until today that I was on the Wikipedia that I learned it was Chicago.
I did know it was Chicago, but I cannot for the life of me remember why I ended up with it being Chicago.
It must have been the game. Because we can't sneak in a Chicago reference at the end where it's like popping off.
But I don't think it's the Bears. I feel like the Bears would be too obvious.
No, there must have just been somebody like...
How did we know it was Chicago? He's like, this is Chicago. Why would we do that?
Well, so the cops show up at some point. They must have been like, Chicago PD or whatever.
Okay, that might have been it. That honestly might have been it.
Yeah.
Did they show up?
In the train station when the gal from Gilmore Girls kidnaps the Haley Osment of this movie. Yeah.
That's a great description.
If you've seen the movie, I fucking crushed it.
Yeah, no, this is perfect.
Yeah. Who is she in Gilmore Girls?
Paris.
What's her name? Paris. Thank you, Christ. Yeah, she's in this movie and she's also uptight. So
I mean, it's fair. Her sister is missing.
No, that was a joke in poor taste. Yeah, so those are the three like main stars. Okay. And then you all already brought it up. You knew this movie from your childhood.
I did.
Tell me about your relationship with this movie.
I knew like the plot points, but I could not remember how it got to where it got. I was like, oh, I know that this is what happens. But the part that stuck out to me was the digging. Like whenever I think of Stir of Echoes, I just think of somebody digging in a backyard. And I just remember watching that when I was a kid and being like, yeah, you got to dig.
You know what? And you also do really love Holes. Like we were riffing before about
But Holes is one
digging.
Of my favorite. It is my favorite movie soundtrack, but it is also a movie that I love very much.
Did you like the book?
Yeah. I did read the book prior to watching the movie.
I was just curious about whether you liked both because I haven't seen the movie, but I do remember loving the book, though at this point I don't remember much. I remember
it being very close.
Oh, okay.
Like there wasn't a lot of differences between the book and the movie, but it's also been a bit since I read the book.
Yeah, no, it's been a minute.
It hasn't been a bit since I've watched the movie.
Wait, when was the last time you watched Holes?
I don't know, like 2 years ago. Why would I not watch it regularly? It's one of those, I wouldn't bring it with me on a deserted island.
Why not, though? If you're on a deserted island, you might need to be digging. Maybe there are techniques.
Now I'm trying to remember the techniques because I was like, oh, because Zero does dig quicker.
Well, and I remember there being like maybe like a hierarchy of places where you were digging.
There was, because you had to dig in certain, like you had to measure it with your shovel, and you had to, like, they would move where you dig based on what you found. Yeah, both directions. So you'd basically have to do a circle at the bottom, and then it would have to be as high as your shovel. Digging up, digging.
Oh my God, this is Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah,
Holy
Trisha Arquette's in it too. Dule Hall. Shit. I'm just gonna keep throwing out names.
Oh my gosh, and that guy Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah, and Jon Voight.
Oh my God, this is an all-star cast.
It is. It's a great movie. I don't want to say perfect movie. I feel like there's something problematic. I mean, Shia LaBeouf's in it, so it is problematic.
How do you think Shia LaBeouf smells?
Just in general, or in this movie specifically?
In general. Like, if you met Shia LaBeouf in a coffee shop, what do you think he smells like?
Patchouli.
No, I think that's a great answer.
I went with my gut.
I respect it. The reason I laughed is because I hate the smell of patchouli, and my hypothesis is that Shia LaBeouf smells bad, and so I was like, so maybe I also think he smells like patchouli.
Yeah, like, well, that's how I was like, it's going to be a scent that's trying to smell good, but it's not.
Oh, that's interesting, because I would go the other way. I would think that Shia
LaBeouf that's trying to smell bad, but he happens to smell okay.
Yeah, I think he's like, I'm doing a performance art by smelling bad.
I don't know. He's gotten a weird character. I don't know if it's an arc.
No,
he's still at the bottom of it.
He's interesting.
I don't know. Gosh. That's going to be a longer time. If we talk about that, we'll watch some Mia Goth movies and we'll talk about it later.
Anyway, I did pull it up. That Holes is 2003, so that's not much after Stir of Echoes. This is just a real big digging phase in your life.
So if we talk about who I was as a child, this is going to be really eye-opening to a lot of people. I don't know.
Big digger?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't dig a lot. That would be terrible.
Mole?
I love you doing a little,
I'm doing like a mole.
When I was a kid, probably even around this time, probably a couple years earlier, I would play primarily at construction sites.
Oh, girl, same.
Like, didn't have people
totally
at them.
Same.
So like they was dirt piles. Like dirt piles were French kiss, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss? Are you French kissing soil?
Why not? That's why I want to be a farmer, man.
Girl, you have got to get a tetanus shot if you're up in there.
I've already gotten 3. They're so worried about me.
Like, how many times have I like slid down a construction site dirt pile and gotten like road rash down the side of my body? Like, construction sites.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. They're the playgrounds of poor kids.
Exactly. They're the playgrounds
construction sites, playgrounds of poor kids.
This actually reminds me that I wanted to talk to you, and sorry to do this in the middle of the episode. So I have been rewatching Kindred Spirits. I think I told you about this. I've got like some personal stuff going on, and life is hard. And so I've been watching TV shows that I could just shut my brain off. And Kindred Spirits is a ghost hunting TV show starring Amy Bruni and Adam Berry. And they, in their last season, in season 6, they went to Morrilton, Arkansas.
Oh.
Which was like...
Is that the one with the handprints on the car? Am I thinking of a different one?
It is not that one. Okay. I don't remember that happening. Wait, do you mean like in Folk Tales or in Kindred Spirits?
Oh, no, I didn't watch Kindred Spirits.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So maybe there are handprints. I think that there are handprints on cars pretty much everywhere.
Oh.
That's one of the ones that's like...
It's in Conway County, so it was super close to you. Did you go to it? What is it? What did you go to?
I have been there. So they went to the Rialto Theater in Morrilton, Arkansas, which was only like 30 minutes away from where I went to college and where my first job was. And I went to this theater with one of my coworkers and his wife. He's very sweet. His name is James, and he was significantly older, to the point that when I was leaving that job, he was very kind and like took me out to dinner, and he posted a photo on Facebook of me and him and his wife, and everybody commented on the photo like, your daughter's so beautiful. And he was like, no, we don't have kids, this is a coworker. But
they were like, but you've adopted her, right?
He has essentially adopted me. Yeah. And so because I was a theater kid, as we have established, he took me to a show at the Rialto in Morrilton, like a community theater show. One of his friends was in the play. And I think they did Harvey. The rabbit.
Yeah. I know Harvey. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a great show. But when I watched this episode of Kindred Spirits and they show like the facade of the Rialto, I was like, wait a fucking second. So I pull it up. It's in Morrilton, Arkansas. And it's a really good episode. Like, they do, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna rein it in so that I don't get too far into ghost hunting tactics, but it's a really good episode. But the reason that reminded me is because Morrilton is a teeny tiny town, like couple thousand people. And I do not get the impression that it is very wealthy. Like, the Rialto is downtown.
Yeah.
And when we got there, and, you know, this is years ago now, 10, 11 years ago now. So, like, maybe the town has had I don't know, maybe it's in better shape than when I visited. But yeah, it was, like, clearly very small, not very prosperous. But it's a really great episode. And anyway, the dirt mounds, construction dirt mounds is what made me think of this.
Was there a lot of construction dirt mounds when you went?
No, there weren't that I saw, but it was like,
I had that
for
feeling.
sure the kids here also remember playing on construction dirt mounds.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. They're just no stranger to a construction dirt mound. Spiritually.
One of my favorite times was whenever there was like they were constructing a skating rink next to where I lived.
Oh, shit.
So when they poured the concrete, I got my inline skates on and I skated on that skating rink before they built it.
Hell yeah.
And then the owner came and then she said, whenever you're old enough, there's going to be a daycare here. So if you want to join. It was such a weird moment. And I was like, no, I'm okay. That's fine. I'm a child.
No.
But she didn't get mad at me. She didn't say I was trespassing. She was like, please do not keep messing with this construction site. And I was like, I'm not taking anything. I was also like, as someone who's like a horrible hypochondriac, I like hung out in mud puddles, hung out on construction sites. So like movies about holes made sense. Movies about digging holes, movies about being just like completely fucking dirty. Like, no, the way that Kevin Bacon looks like he rips stuff, like he rips the house apart. Like that was my life. And I'm sure that I could like, I don't know, talk to a therapist about it. And they would say something. They would dissect that and be like, you felt more comfortable in dirty places because your life is XYZ. And I just feel like that's what would end up coming of that. But you know what? They were still fun times, super fun times.
They're fun times. And you know what? I'm going to spin it the other way. Sometimes, like in a construction site, that's not about tearing things down. That's not about being dirty. That's about building.
Oh, perfect. You're beautiful. Thank you. Kelly, you're my therapist.
I've been in therapy for a couple of years, so I think I'm qualified to dole it out.
I feel like it could also mean like I lived a life where I have a family who is incredibly clean.
It's all holes.
I feel like it's
a hole. Your uncle's a hole.
Well, no, my family, as in like my mother and my grandmother, are very pristinely clean to the point where it is like scary. I mean this out of love, but they are very, very clean people and I am not. So maybe I loved dirt because I was like, I'm not allowed near this.
This is your rebellion.
Yeah.
No, I can absolutely verify this. When I think about your grandma's house, I think about vacuum lines in the carpet.
She does have vacuum lines in the carpet. Yeah. They were perfect all the time. She also has like a doily. That's not right. It was a tablecloth.
No, that's basically
it was like
right.
a large doily, but she like cornstarched it and would pin it so it would stay like perfect. Like everything is always perfect in that house, and it's nice because whenever things are clean, they feel nice.
Mm-hmm.
But also, sometimes you just gotta dig a hole.
You gotta get dirty. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just dig a hole. Anyway, that is a side tangent.
We did do a little bit of a tangent. That's fine. Hi.
But that's why I like Stir of Echoes. It reminded me of that, and I remember watching it as a kid, and that scene stuck out to me so hard that when I watched it again, I was like, oh, it felt nice. I haven't watched it since probably I was 9 or, nope.
Wow, really?
Or since I was a child. Yeah, like I haven't watched it since at least I was in my teens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm sure I watched it when it like was playing on USA randomly, but like I haven't had cable in like 15 years.
Yeah, it's been I don't think I've had cable since 2006.
Yeah, I'm not, I guess unless they were playing it in a hotel I happened to be in, there would be no reason for me to watch it.
Oh, no, but I only watch HGTV in hotels. There's no way I watched a movie.
Did you watch it when you were younger?
Absolutely not. No, I have never heard of this movie until...
So this is the first time you watched it?
The first time I watched it was our false start to Never Show the Monster.
Whoa.
We almost started with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So I watched Stir of Echoes and You Should Have Left.
I did watch You Should Have Left, yeah.
In the run-up to Never Show the Monster, and then it took us a year to get to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So I watched Stir of Echoes.
How is it now? How is it watching it? That's weird because maybe I am watching it through the lens of somebody who has familiarity with it.
So I loved it.
Okay,
I think it's great. Yeah, no, I had a great time.
I thought it was nostalgia goggles for me, so I was a little worried.
Nostalgia. Well, I don't think it's nostalgia goggles. I think that this is a good movie, and I was super happy to watch it again. Like,
oh, good.
You know, I watched it a little over a year ago, and just rewatched it for this, and had a great time. Will absolutely watch it again. Bought it. You know,
same.
Yeah, I think this is a really good movie, and especially watching it after You Should Have Left, which was also David Koepp and Kevin Bacon, based on a book. It was like, how far we've come in a bad way.
Yeah.
You know, like Stir of Echoes is really good, and like You Should Have Left isn't.
Yeah, and the characters do feel more three-dimensional, and it's the same setup. Husband, wife, child.
Yep.
Going through some shit.
Yep. Something spooky happening around a family. Yeah. And this one is so much better. This one's like a real movie with full characters.
And some questionable accents.
But
it, like, even the scene, there's like a scene where he's going through the hypnotism, and apparently these are it was like an actual hypnotism they would use at the time, but they had to like insert certain sounds to keep people from, sorry, I'm trying to make sure that nobody in here also goes into a hypnotism by me talking about it. That's why I snapped.
Wait,
no, I was like, why did I snap? They would insert certain sounds in it whenever they're doing that. Oh, you're sitting in a movie theater. It's all black. So they would insert certain sounds to make sure that the person in the audience didn't go into hypnosis. They said it would be likely that at least a percentage of them would if they didn't do that.
Because there is like a percentage of people who are supposedly super susceptible.
Yeah.
And that's also like Inception-y, because the way that Kevin Bacon experiences the hypnotism is in a movie theater. He envisions himself in a movie theater, which was a really cool representation of it, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's, like, I mean, in like an elegant old school style movie theater, and the way they like walk him through it, it's like, the sister-in-law is describing the theater, and he like has an image in his mind, and then she'll add another detail, and he like refactors the whole thing. It like slams into place like this new detail. So he's imagining like a play theater, and then she adds that it's a screen, and so wham, everything changes. I thought that was just a super cool representation.
So well done. And like everything and then being like, oh, and the chairs and the curtains are all black. And then it like did a paint of everything. And then being black.
Like lights shut down.
It was so good. And then like those kind of shots and that kind of feeling made this movie really enjoyable and really interesting. And I feel like that's what You Should Have Left lacked.
Yes, exactly.
It seems like that, because I feel like that scene is what, whenever he went through that door and meant to go through the halls to go do that, that's kind of like what they were trying to invoke but didn't. And I was hoping that that could have been translated over to that movie instead, to where it had that deep of an impact. But I was just kind of disappointed. That being said, this was good.
This is really good. Like, Stir of Echoes feels really creative. And honestly, even talking now, I can't remember another movie that displays imagination like this part does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this feels cutting edge to me. And I don't even know if it's been replicated since then. I mean, I don't know. I'm saying that like I'm well watched, and I'm not. So maybe it like absolutely has been.
Well, the only thing I could think of, and it's probably because you said Inception.
Is Inception.
And then I was like trying to figure out as well, like, picture this. I feel like there's got to be something.
I do think that Inception does like dream logic really well.
Mm-hmm.
But does anything like... This was just such a snap into place. Like, oh, you got a new fact, change your idea of something.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I can't think of anything that's like, here's how I imagine it. Oh, I've learned a new thing. Let me change how I'm imagining it. Oh, I learned another new thing. Let me change how I'm imagining it. Like,
that's like when you're reading a book really too.
Compelling.
Like,
yes.
That's how I would read a book, is like going through it, and then every detail that goes into it, it's like it kind of just shifts.
You're like building this world.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see, like, I don't know, we all do it, right? We like fill in the blanks subconsciously. Like, we're not even trying. We like fill in the blanks, and then you learn a thing and you're like, oh, let me change what I had assumed. Like, that type of world building, not world building in the context of the movie, but like world building in the context of our brains is so interesting. And this was a really great representation on film.
Agreed.
Have you ever been hypnotized?
No, I'm very afraid of it. Sorry.
You're very afraid of it. No, that's exactly what I want to talk about. So why are you afraid of it?
Because I don't like... Is this also a thing in the 90s as well, as the power of like the power of suggestion for false memories? That's why I'm afraid of hypnotism, is the power of suggestion for false memories.
God, that even goes back before the 90s. That's fully 80s. That's Satanic Panic.
Like it.
Do you know, I didn't even think about this when I wrote down this question for you.
Damn.
So, do you remember the Satanic Panic?
Mm-hmm.
That's when like false memories via hypnotism really came to light.
Yeah.
Like, all of these kids. Okay, so for the home listener, the Satanic Panic was like a big thing in the 80s, where basically everybody was worried about satanic cults, and none of that is true. There was never like substantiated evidence for that. It was essentially like mass hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing about it was like the involvement of kids, like children being kidnapped and sacrificed or being involved in ritual. And some of the stories were crazy. It was like little kids in preschool saying that they were being like whisked away on jets during the preschool day to go like participate in satanic ritual. And like, that's a funny one. A lot of the stories were really upsetting. So I won't get into those, but some of them like went to trial, and these little kids who had false memories, sometimes not related to hypnotism, but sometimes yes, related to hypnotism. But there are like parents who went to prison for decades because of the testimony their children provided.
Oh, wow.
During the Satanic Panic. So like, yeah, false memories are real and crazy.
Yeah.
And like, and sometimes not even because of hypnotism. Like sometimes we just
suggestion,
like, just suggestion.
Suggestion.
Yeah.
Can cause that. And that's just terrifying all in all. And I know that like hypnotism isn't primarily related to that, but there is just like a fear of hypnotism being a conduit for susceptibility of those. That's where I am like, I don't love it. I know people.
So you would never do it. You would never
probably
be hypnotized.
Not. Not comfortably.
Not well, no,
not of my own free will. So,
do you think that you would be susceptible to hypnotism? Because not everybody can be hypnotized.
So that's where I don't know. I think it depends. Like I don't know how I'm trying to think because I would say right now no, but I feel like I've had like I've had OCD and compulsive thoughts in the past that have been really extreme. So that's the time when I'd be very concerned about that. Today, maybe not so bad, but like, I don't know, a couple years ago, I'd definitely be like, please do not ever suggest anything to me ever at all in all of time. Thank you. But I don't know if like hypnotism could even help with that. Like it might do the opposite where it could help me process and make those not so emboldened in my head. But I don't know.
You know, I have seen stuff like that. Like hypnotism, like podcasts. This predates podcasts, actually, what I'm thinking of. But like hypnotism
radio shows.
I guess it would have been like books on tape.
Okay, perfect.
Oh God, I'm ancient. But yeah, like self-help hypnotism. I've seen self-help hypnotism.
That was like a whole movement, though, like in the 90s. It's like having those tapes. Like you could buy the tapes. I know that there's like the stop smoking hypnotism tapes and like tapes you can listen to while you're going to sleep to convince you of stuff. But those
are the ones that I am remembering. Like I went to college with a girl who listened to them to help her with something. And
did they work?
She said so.
Okay.
But I wonder how much of that is placebo. Like,
fair.
You know, if you're focusing on something that's like keeping it so hers was like a habit situation. And so I feel like keeping it at the forefront of your mind and like every night you're thinking about it as you go to sleep. Like, I don't know how much of that is hypnotism and how much of that is like visualizing a goal, which
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that
but
is
it could fall in line. Like that could be hypnotism or the idea of hypnotism.
So that is another of my questions.
Is how much of it is like mindfulness? I don't know. What is hypnotism?
like what is happening?
I don't know.
Is it
Are we going to have a series on hypnotism soon?
Yes.
Okay, I'm okay with that. That one doesn't have a horrible trigger for me. I know I just said I was very afraid of it, but I can watch those.
You can watch stuff without yeah. No, I don't know what it is. I see it. So even in this movie, the sister is like this Kevin Bacon's sister-in-law is presented as like wooey woo. She believes in paranormal. But then she has like a psychology degree and she's doing this from a psychology background.
Well, I know that I've recommended this 1 million times, but the Body Keeps Score does talk about things that aren't necessarily hypnotism, but there is like, what is it? What is the therapy that's like, it is hypnotism, but it is like really, so that is where I kind of struggled with it. Cause I know I just said I would never do it. But when I heard about the impact that specific therapy has on people who
so maybe in a clinical setting you would be more willing.
Yeah, maybe if I understood. But that was the problem. There were like clinical psychologists early on that kept trying to have people uncover memories by making suggestions about memories.
Yeah.
Causing false memories. And that's where I would get scared. But I feel like maybe we have advanced far enough that wouldn't be that big of an issue. But it's not EDM. That's electronic dance music. Is it called EDM?
No, I know which one you're talking about, though.
It's something eye movement.
It's the one with like the lights.
It's something you have to do. It's like called something eye movement. So it like has to do with hypnotizing you, but it like gives you time to process things.
Yeah, this is the one they do.
Like without being in your own body. Like it's like so you can process it without being there.
Yeah, this is the one that's my therapist actually recommended this to me at some point. It's the one that's essentially like Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. It's like it's commonly a treatment for like intrusive thoughts that are very traumatic. And so you go to this and it's exactly what you said. Like it's like reaching into a file folder and examining it as like separate from yourself. Mm-hmm. And so it stops being an intrusive thought. And so you still have the thought, right? It's still there, but you can decide.
I don't want to be like disassociate from it, but be like, this isn't me. This is something that's here.
This isn't me. This is like a different, and I don't have to examine it when it wants to. I get to choose when we examine it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Is that therapy or is that hypnosis? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
And I feel like this is just going to become a tangent. I know everyone has told everyone to read that book, but it is a book about like complex PTSD and how it's not being considered as a part of the what is it? The manual in which you diagnose.
Oh, the DSM.
The DSM. It's not in the DSM. And the writer of the book has tried so hard to make it part of it. But then he's like, here are all the therapies that are actually very good for it.
Hold on. Is DSM right? Because here's what just happened in my brain is I said DSM and then
electronic
I had
dance
like
music. I think you're right.
No, basically that's what I was thinking.
Right. You're right. DSM.
Okay. Sorry. I had a flashback to Pitch Perfect with that band Das Sound Machine because there's a scene where they're just like DSM. So I was like, wait.
It is about psychology. Anyway, this is gone. But that's why that book is so important, though, is that it is talking about all the other therapies that aren't just CBT, which I think CBT is helpful, but there are a bunch of other therapies that are more helpful.
I mean, it's going to depend on what you respond to, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I tried CBT. It didn't work for me, though I did.
But CBT is the one that you can put down for insurance, so that's why CBT is so big, because a lot of insurance companies won't accept other forms of treatment.
Yeah, my therapist, she lists a very broad diagnosis that is sure to get me coverage, but doesn't really disclose anything about what I'm dealing with, which is sick. I love that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, CBT didn't work for me until I saw, I don't know. Maybe it still doesn't work for me, but I recently saw a tweet about it where somebody was like, CBT is just gaslighting yourself. And I was like, oh.
Well, when you put it in that context.
Maybe I should try it that way. Because I didn't like confronting your thoughts. Mm-hmm. But maybe if I just roast myself into behaving differently.
It'll switch around. It'll do
maybe that'll work.
Hypnotism. Would you be hypnotized?
I think I'm more willing than you are
to stop smoking.
But it's going to depend. I don't smoke.
To start smoking.
Sure. I think it's going to depend on the situation for me. I do think in a situation like this where that happens in this movie where it's like a small group of friends and I think I would do it in that situation.
I'm really terrible at peer pressure. You're right. If the situation was if it happened, I'd probably do it. You do it because it's fun.
I would do it because it's fun, but only if it was like a small group of people who I know and I trust the person conducting it. Yeah, if it's like a big group, like if I'm on like a walking tour with a magician who wants to do it, I'm not going to do that.
No.
Or actually, now that I'm saying it, I think that I would, but combatively, I would be like a hostile subject.
Perfect.
I don't think that they would choose me.
I'm trying to think of, so in the movie they talk about putting a pin through his hand, telling him to bleed on one side. If you're a hostile subject,
not real, right?
But I'm thinking if you're a hostile subject, if they said that to you, no, I would say you would just squirt blood directly up at them. It would just be like right into their face. Be like, fuck you. I choose which side.
I choose. Or even just subtly, they're like, bleed on the right side. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
Left
bleed
side
on
only.
The left side. That can't be real.
I don't know.
You don't decide where you bleed.
Do you?
No.
Well, that's the thing. Like the mind is so fucking crazy. It's like, I mean, you can choose. You can't choose. Your brain doesn't choose, but it sends pain signals to certain things. So like your body could be ripped apart and you could feel nothing because if your brain just is like, I'm not gonna deal with this.
Tell me about it. Do you remember when I burned myself with my space heater because I just had it too close and let it boil my flesh?
Like, oh. Yeah, like
I don't feel my body.
Your brain is weird. Like brains are weird.
The brain
and
is super weird. I can believe that you could hypnose. Is that right?
You could hypnose.
You can hypnose someone.
Hypnotize?
You can hypnotize someone. No, I think
okay, you can hypnose. Go ahead.
You can hypnose someone.
Let's
I think that you could like get somebody to like what was it? Safety pin. I think that you could get somebody to safety pin themselves and they don't feel pain. Totally buy that. I don't think that you can get them to only bleed on one part.
I feel like this has to do with like, and I don't buy into this, but there are people, I don't buy into this. There are people who say like, if you focus a lot of certain thought into an area of your body that you know has something wrong with it, you will send certain things to it, certain white blood cells, certain stuff. So I wonder if it's like, I'm going to cause clotting on this side of my hand in order to force it out the other. But that is a reach. That's a reach.
Man, I really should have done more research.
I mean, we could have done this is turning into a super psychology episode.
I know. And I'm about to take us down another tangent.
I should have reread that book.
Okay. So we've been talking about repressed memories, and I know that you have a recent obsession with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the deep sea. Sorry, I now switched it to that because
how much
do we know down there? How much do we know?
Nothing. It's just monsters down there.
And then like I was in a meeting the other day and somebody was like, would you rather go to space or deep sea? And I was like, both of them are fucking scary as shit. Both of them are terrifying. We know nothing about either of them.
I'm going to space.
Because you know more about space. But I was like, if we go into water, and then somebody was like, oh, we know everything about water. And I was like, excuse me? I unmuted and I immediately was like, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing
about water.
We don't know what's in the depths. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to.
I don't know what's going on down there.
But that's how I also jumped over to that. Aliens and deep sea creatures. Oof.
Well, have you read the alien theories that they aren't from space, they are from the deep sea?
No, but that is what I was thinking the other day. I was thinking maybe, and then...
You're a natural. Let's get you into MUFON.
Well, then Brian was like, let's listen to the story by H.P. Lovecraft on our drive the other day called, I think it's Dagon, but it's about like a...
About the fucking sea?
Yeah, it's about the sea and it's about creatures that are like humanoid.
I know that it's about an eldritch horror. It's always about an eldritch horror with H.P. Lovecraft.
It was good. Probably racist. Terrible. But he's great.
Yeah.
But I was like, that could happen. That could happen. We have no idea what's down there. All of this could happen. You could be 100% right. They could be underwater. Oh my God, I'm so happy we're having this conversation.
Okay, well, I have more.
Okay, good.
So
I'm sorry, we've gone so far off Stir Rebecca's.
Okay,
don't worry.
Okay.
Oh my God, I have something very important to tell you before we conclude the recording, but I want you to tell me about aliens first.
Okay. So, one of the first, like maybe the first alien abduction story is Betty and Barney Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened in, gosh, I don't know, 50s or 60s.
Okay.
And the reason I remember that is because they were an interracial couple, and that was like not
kosher.
Yeah.
Is that
not
okay
everybody loved. Gosh, I don't even know.
It was not good.
No, it was good. Not
for
societally,
them.
Not everybody loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, great on them. Oh God,
yes.
this is not a good soundbite. I'm sorry. You can remove 90% of me talking.
Depths. Speaking of the ocean, speaking of holes.
Jesus.
Okay, we're climbing back out. So, but I guess let's just be clear. We love interracial relationships.
We do.
No, I think that I'm still digging.
This is bad.
Hold on.
We're digging into the side. We're digging into the side, not down.
We're just digging into the
side, which is bad.
Everybody
if we need to crawl up. Sorry.
Okay. So Betty and Barney Hill.
We are supportive of love. Anybody can love anybody.
Anybody.
As long as you're consenting adults over the age of 18.
Consenting adults.
Great.
We love it.
The end. That's it. That's our stance.
Consenting adults, yay. So Betty and Barney Hill, 2 consenting adults. They were abducted, allegedly abducted. And their stories are nuts. And you sort of like, I don't know, basically everything you think of in an alien abduction like happened to Betty and Barney Hill, according to their stories. But they
anal probe. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Barney. You know what? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't remember the anal probe stuff. I do remember the wiener stuff, which is very common.
Oh,
is
it? Oh,
yeah. Okay, you like harvest specimens.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there. Yeah. I know that part. Yeah. Okay, there. I'm there.
Yeah, and then he had like weird, I guess boils on his wiener, and it wasn't good.
Okay,
it wasn't a good experience.
That's fair. That doesn't sound like it would be a good experience.
Well, I meant the boils. I think that maybe the spaceship part was
a good experience. So aliens have chlamydia? Wait, no. Is that chlamydia? Herpes?
Ooh. Well,
what creates genital warts?
I don't think it was herpes because it was in like a pattern.
Oh, that's cool. Like a
ringworm?
No, I was gonna say like a what is it? Corn?
Oh no, like a star map?
Cornfield. Cornfield. What are they?
Oh yeah.
What are they?
Crop signs?
Crop circles.
Crop circles. Sorry, I was thinking of the crop circles in signs. Okay. Yes, crop circles. Yeah, he's got crop circles.
He's got crotch circles.
He's got Folks, we did it. Join us next week. Where? That's the show. Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so he's got crotch circles, but they both undergo hypnosis in order to recover lost memories.
Oh.
And so and these recordings are like upsetting. Like they experience so much stress. Well, Barney does. I think Betty had a fine time.
Just hung out.
Barney is, yeah, she like, I don't know, came back and was like, their spaceship was so pretty.
This is like
and I saw space. And let me draw you star maps.
So is that SNL skit based on them? And
I don't know what SNL
Kate
skit
McKinnon's character is based on him? They always have
I don't know what
3
you're talking about.
characters, and 2 of them have a really pleasant experience, and Kate McKinnon always has a terrible experience. And she's always smoking a cigarette, just talking about how a bunch of tiny men.
Wait, this is a recurring alien abduction sketch?
Yeah, it happens all the time because of the fact that it is so hard for any guest to keep a straight face with Kate McKinnon in her character.
No, she's so funny.
Yeah, and that's why they continue to do it, is because everyone breaks character.
Because they break.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's so good. It's so good.
No, I don't know. I haven't seen this. You send me SNL. I'm going to send you this Betty and Barney Hill info.
I'm going to send you something funny. You're going to send me something very sad.
It's not sad. Not all of it is sad.
Only for Ben.
But only for Barney. But they recover these memories, and all of that is cast into doubt because it was hypnotic regression.
Oh.
Years and years and years ago. And so it's how much of this was suggested? How much of this was a dream that got magnified? I don't know. Hypnosis is crazy.
How would they have the same? Would they have the same type of dream?
Well, I think that's related to maybe a couple things. So we were talking earlier about how it doesn't even have to be hypnosis, but just suggestion for you to start
fair.
Internalizing that. So maybe, one of them was having dreams and sharing it with the other, and it got internalized. And then maybe once they heard those dreams, they started having the dreams too. I don't know. A lot of things could be at play.
That's fair.
We sure have deviated.
Yeah, no, but it's gone to a good place. What I wanted to talk about with this movie, what I have gained from watching this movie that I did not have prior to this movie.
Yes, tell me.
Did you know that Kevin Bacon is part of the Bacon Brothers, and they have released multiple albums of folk country? And I listened to them for a couple hours on Spotify the other day. And there is a song called Hookers and Blow. And I was I didn't know that was the name of it. And I was listening to the songs, and then that came up, and I was like, excuse me, what? What is this happening?
This even explains that singing TikTok with him and his daughter. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He was I don't know. Did I make this up? Did I post-hypnotic suggest this to me? Was he blowing in a barrel in that TikTok?
I thought he was playing drums. Or was she playing drums?
No, I made up
Somebody
the barrel.
Made blowing
yeah.
But I found out because in the Stir of Echoes trivia, it said that he understands how to play guitar because he's already released multiple albums with his brother as the Bacon Brothers. And I was like, what? How have I not known about this? We are 3 movies deep in this series, and we just found out that he has 6 albums. What is happening?
And he plays a would-be musician in this movie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I am furious that you didn't tell me at the top. And we've been talking about my bullshit this whole time.
I mean, aliens are more important than anything else we talk about.
I don't know.
That's my current hyperfixation. But that was the most pleasant thing that came out of this movie for me. I mean, I love this movie, and I'm glad that I rewatched it, but that's the best.
Okay, and was the music good?
It was.
Just your exhale really told the story.
It is one that I'm going to continue to listen to. So I'm not saying that it is not good.
Okay, how does it compare to the Dead and Breakfast soundtrack?
I mean, that's not fair.
You're right. That wasn't fair.
How does it compare to
Perfection? Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely not fair.
Yeah.
It reminds me of nothing. It doesn't remind me of anything. It feels like a band I probably would have listened to in college, and nobody else would have picked up. But I would have been like, this band's pretty good on a couple songs.
Oh, you're hipstering me. You're hipstering me right now.
No. Not they're really cool, but I thought they were really cool because nobody knew about them.
Yeah, but I said, hipstering me.
I'd put them, I'm trying to think if I would put them on, I would put them on mixed CDs for sure, but I don't know if I would put them on mixed CDs just because it's Kevin Bacon. It was enjoyable.
Okay.
It was better than listening to the people from like Branson that we listened to when you visited. I liked it. It was unexpected. I 100% did not expect to hear a song called Hookers and Blow. But I couldn't tell which brother was singing.
Oh, we don't know if it's K-Bakes or
Brother Bakes, B Bakes. I don't know. I feel bad. We should figure out his name.
And it's just the two of them?
Yeah, it's just the two of them.
And is this like a banjo situation?
I'm trying to figure out. I think that they both might play the acoustic guitar. That can't be right. I'm trying to look them up right now.
I mean, it could be lead and what do they call the other?
Rhythm.
And then they just like slap the body of the guitar for percussion?
Dude, I do not. Like, I wish I had Corona tune. Oh.
Is that mid
It was. It was July 7th, 2020, which I need to listen to.
Woof.
Can we talk about how much Nope, this is going to be a... Do you know the John Bon Jovi song?
Okay, go on.
He made it during the pandemic about the pandemic, and it's called
Do
What You Can.
I don't know it.
But they talk about he talks about, I figured, we listened to it because of our road trips over the summer to drive all the way back, and we would come see you. But we would take 3-day road trips, and it's, you can't do what you do, so you do what you can. And it talked about farmers down in Arkansas. They bought workers PPE. But it's like, it's a very uplifting song about the pandemic. But I also, like, for some reason, I just assumed that Kevin Bacon would have a pandemic song. And the fact that I just found it just now makes me feel really good about everything.
Honestly, you know what happened is he released his pandemic song, but then all those celebrities did the Imagine song
so he had to bury
Instagram.
it?
Yeah, they just and honestly good for him because we roasted the shit out of Lil Miss Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
what's her name?
Fair.
Gal
Gadot. They just had to bury it. Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to listen to it right after this and see if it rings true.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a listen, and I guess then I'm going to have to Google whether or not I can insert a snippet in the podcast.
You should.
For our listeners.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think there's like a time limit. I'll see if I can squeeze
it's
the
like less
in
than 30 seconds. We can do it. And I think that they would appreciate the promotion. This is a We Love Kevin Bacon
really
podcast,
needs Never Show the Monsters.
I mean,
yeah, he's gonna get that Never Show the Monster bump.
Yeah,
which he's been waiting for.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Kevin
this
Bacon.
this has been a brand deal.
I mean,
the whole time.
In our defense, we have been like, also watch the following, also watch these 50 other things that he's in. Kevin Bacon's the greatest. If anybody pops in here and doesn't know us personally, because if you do know us personally, we have forced you to watch all these things to begin with.
Yeah, this is true. This is us.
But we appreciate that you have come here, and we would appreciate you watching Kevin Bacon things. So one day Kevin Bacon could send us a letter and just say, thanks, Kelly and Chelsea.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Oh my God, I was so
didn't
crying.
even consider that possibility. I'm gonna @ him on Twitter. Okay, so Kevin Bacon, we still love him. I feel like you and I were just talking about Woody Harrelson. Was it with you?
Yeah,
I was talking
about
Woody
his
Harrelson?
clothing being off.
And we were like, we love him. He's not been canceled. We love Woody Harrelson.
Oh no, stop it. Stop it. Are you about to cancel him for me? Oh no, please don't. Oh no.
I mean, I won't tell you. Do you want to take out your headphones and I'll tell our listeners?
No, tell me.
So he hosted SNL recently. Like last weekend?
Okay.
Like yesterday?
Oh, okay.
And went on like a big anti-vax rant.
Oh, my
in his monologue.
Shirt has a hood.
Cover up your head.
Why?
Yeah. I had time to process this alone earlier.
I'm so upset. This is so upsetting.
I know. I was like, it was unacceptable. to me. I was like, no.
It's fine. He wasn't on my top 10 list. He had the expectation that maybe something would come out about him. I'm disappointed.
No,
but I'm not
he wasn't
shocked.
in my top 10.
I'm disappointed, but not shocked.
I guess so. I guess he was in the category for me of like, I hope he just keeps his head down.
Yeah, it was just like surprising that something hadn't come out about him. And then good stuff came out about him. And then I was like, you know what? Go Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's not
and
fine.
This happened so recently that like maybe it'll come out that this was like supposed to be ironic.
Okay.
And he like didn't hit it.
And he's had actually 15 shots, and it's the most important thing to him.
Yeah, maybe he has more COVID vaccines than any of. I don't know.
Maybe
Listeners,
he bathes in Moderna every day.
Listeners, you're way in the future compared to when we're recording this, so you know more than we do.
Hopefully his marketing team came out and stopped this mess.
So
fuck.
I don't know.
Thank you for telling me.
We're on Woody watch now, I guess.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was thinking about that earlier, and I was like, should I? And I was like, I appreciate the people who do the research for me because I don't know who I should be concerned with.
Same. Yeah, I like follow experts.
Yeah.
So I could just trust them and not have to.
Because right now, isn't Chris Evans? Chris Evans was great, and now he's not.
Oh no,
so great.
has he been canceled?
Yeah,
what did
I
he
think
do?
so. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look at some.
And we've got the right Chris. It is Evans.
I think so.
Okay.
I thought it was like an age thing. But I love Chris Evans because he dated Jenny Slate for a while, right? And I was like,
I didn't
that's
realize
sweet.
That.
Yeah.
She's so funny.
And she says only good things about him.
Okay. Huh. I don't know.
Yeah. Damn, Petty?
Petty knows.
He's upset. He loves Chris Evans. Yeah, that was, and Jason Momoa, I think, is also not doing well.
I don't even know who he is.
He's Aquaman. He was also Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. Very large man. Oh, Ezra Miller. We know he's not great.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa just professes love for Ezra Miller on Twitter, I guess, saying like, oh, he's the best. The Flash, the new movie's about to come out, which you guys, if you don't want to hear this is kind of a spoiler if you are trying to avoid the trailers. Michael Keaton's going to be in the new Flash movie as Batman.
Oh!
Yeah. So, like,
oh my God, Michael Keaton
watch it.
Is my second favorite Batman.
The first one, Val. I know, right?
Obviously.
Also, if you guys do watch the Val Kilmer documentary, that's the most beautiful part is him describing. Did you watch it yet?
No.
God damn it.
It's been, what, 2 years?
But that's the one that he talks about how he didn't want to overact because there was already Jim Carrey in the movie. There was already Tommy Lee Jones. He was like, it was not a moment for me. This was not my stage. This was for them. It wasn't for me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God. I did not think I could love you more. But it's
that
there.
Is honestly
the most beautiful thing you've ever heard.
Well, but it's also very surprising coming from Val because I think of him as like a stage hog ham.
Yeah, but he was like, this was not my place to be.
Wait, hold on. Is that where ham comes from? You're a stage hog? Ham is from pig?
Oh.
Hog? Did I just uncover something linguistically? Okay.
Well, like Porky the Pig, ham.
Yeah,
hamming it up.
Hamming it up. Is that what this comes from?
I don't know. Maybe it's all around. All of them. All of them join hands. I don't know how to describe this.
Okay, sorry. You were talking about Val in like a beautiful way.
Yeah. We were talking about Batman and Val. This is Stir of Echoes was a great movie.
Stir of Echoes was stellar.
We love Kevin Bacon. Val's not canceled. Woody Harrelson might be. Kevin Bacon's still going strong as far as we know. Please don't tell us anything.
As far as we know.
Unless you do know something, then please tell us because we want to avoid that. But he does just seem so great. And I love what he's in. And I'm going to be bummed if anything ever comes out. If not, great.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what if Kevin Bacon gets canceled tomorrow
and then we have to release all of these episodes? That
recording?
would be great because everybody would be looking for stuff about it.
Okay, good point. Good
See,
point.
I'm in marketing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not at all. But might work in our favor.
Oh no.
Let's hope not. I would be very
I
upset if it
that.
did. Plus, we love our new horror princess, soon to be queen, maybe Shoshi Bacon. Is it Shoshi or Shoshi? Yeah.
Wait, is she doing more?
Is she doing more horror? So. She's in commercials with her dad. So right now, I just love seeing her and the fact that she exists. And I hope that she does more horror movies. And it would make me very happy if she continued.
Yeah, she was great in Smile.
Anyway, Stir of Echoes, give it a watch. Listen to Bacon Brothers. This was a watch.
For sure. We watched it. Yeah. Did you know that there's a sequel? With
Rob Lowe?
What?
There is a sequel, but it's got Rob Lowe in it.
All I saw was that it was a sci-fi original, so I was like, I don't need to go further.
Yeah, you do. Okay, we'll do this for a different series. Eventually, how about we do a sequel series eventually?
Yeah,
not of movies we've done, just random ass movies. This will be one of them, though. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh,
you're welcome.
Boy, I had like a whole bunch more notes on the plot of this movie, but
we have gone in a different direction.
We've done it. We have an episode.
I was going to say, we talk more about the plot. I think I'm going to say only sad things, and this has been very happy.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Like all of my other notes are like,
this is some bad stuff that
liberal.
happened. Yeah, and like, oh God, the community should only protect each other if they're doing good things, not bad things.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
Yeah, if you're assaulting a woman,
no protection.
Nope, absolutely none.
Turn them into the
like if you nope, not good, not good.
Love that this landlord was willing to kill a guy for uncovering the murder, but did not kill the culprit. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. So watch the movie and then you'll understand what we're talking about. And then come back next week when we talk about
The Darkness?
The Darkness.
What is The Darkness about? I don't know anything. Can you give us like a tagline, a teaser trailer?
Yeah, I definitely can. Yeah. So they go to the Grand Canyon. It's a family and the son, I don't know. There are like Native American items in a cave. Grabs something, takes it home. Something else follows him.
Okay, yeah. Next week, we will continue our series on Kevin Bacon with The Darkness. I'm excited to watch it. I don't know anything about this except for the tagline that Chelsea just gave us. And in the meantime...
Spooky Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon. Fuck the Grand Canyon. I'm already mad. Okay. In the meantime, you can email us at noshowmonster@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter if it still exists. At No Show Monster. And we always have Debut Buddies, our other podcast co-hosted with our friend Nate Regolia, where we talk about firsts. And
anyway, thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you next week. Happy Spookies.